know exactly when this video is coming out because this doesn't really have a set release date or anything. It's just me talking over a microphone about gaming news or whatever the fuck comes to mind, really. But just recently it occurred to me because I was watching Super Beer Bros. I've been watching a lot of Super Beer Bros lately, with Gerard the Completionist and Alex from the Decks. And like I was watching their Let's Play of A Link to the Past, and it intrigued me because they were basically talking about this article that was saying that, I think the gist of it was that Legend of Zelda games would be a lot better. They would basically fix Legend of Zelda games because they were going downhill. Then they would fix it if they were making it more like Dark Souls. And this, I didn't really agree with this, but it got me thinking, like, there are really two sides to this whole story, of which is the definitive Legend of Zelda game, or what is a true Legend of Zelda game, or all that nonsense. Like, people are always saying, oh, my favorite Legend of Zelda game is Link to the Past. No, my favorite Legend of Zelda game is Ocarina of Time. And it like made me think of like a lot of people's takes on it. Like, I love Skyward Sword, which is a very controversial topic because a lot of the Legend of Zelda fan base thinks that that game is one of the worst because it's so linear and not as adventurous as like the original Legend of Zelda game, the original Legend of Zelda, or Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, and all those other types of Legend of Zelda games. But then there's like, on the opposite side of the spectrum, there's like Egoraptor, or Aaron from Game Grumps, and who was like completely opposite. I think he made it in his Sequelitis, said he constantly was shitting on Skyward Sword. It really just like it brought to my attention that like the Legend of Zelda fan base, at least from my eyes, is kind of split on what they think of real Legend of Zelda game is. So that's really what I want to talk about today. Really, is just what I think the definitive Legend of Zelda game is. By the way, just bear with me if I stutter a lot, because I'm just trying to collect my thoughts. It's really late where I am right now. It just got into my head, and I decided, I haven't done a video in a long time. I'm gonna be constantly throwing it off because school is about to come back in for Easter, so I decided to just get this done immediately. So bear with me if I tend to stray or something. I'll try and edit as much of that out as possible. Anyway, from my eyes, there are two types of Legend of Zelda games that we have right now. We have your, Legend of Zelda 1, your A Link Between Worlds, A Link to the Past, those kinds of games. Those games which are pretty much focused around adventuring and like go your own way, do your own thing, kind of a whole open world experience, and just focusing more on gameplay and adventuring than anything else. And that's what a lot of people think how it should be done. And then on the other side of the stick, we have your Ocarina of Time, your Wind Waker, your Twilight Princess, your Skyward Sword, more lore, story-driven, mission-based Legend of Zelda games, more mission-based, combat-oriented Legend of Zelda games that are just there to, like, in my opinion, enriching the Legend of Zelda lore while giving you, a fun gameplay experience. Now, I'm not gonna like include in the classifications Legend of Zelda 2, because Legend of Zelda 2 is kind of its own thing. I don't even know what the fuck that was, really. It was just like, it was just there because I think they wanted to experiment with the formula while it was still young, and it didn't work. It didn't really work. Zelda 2 was weird, and I'm not gonna include Majora's Mask in this either. Majora's Mask is gonna come later, but you'll see what I'm talking about later when we get to Majora's Mask. But it's not gonna be in any of these two classifications. But anyway, I think the two formulas that we have now, the two basic formulas that we have now, I'm gonna call them the open world Zelda and linear, well, not linear, mission-based Zelda. I'm gonna call them open world and mission-based. Both of them have their own pros and cons, to be honest to me. Like for example, I'm gonna start with the open world Zeldas. Open world Zeldas are they're really good because they give you the liberty to do what you want, to adventure and go where they want. You just put you in this big world, and you get to. It's just a lot of fun, like traversing the world and exploring and really being an adventure. And I think that's what it technically is, the essence that Miyamoto wanted to capture for the Legend of Zelda audience in the beginning, and he was able to do that with the first Legend of Zelda game ever, which I haven't played, to be honest, and I probably never will, because that game is cryptic as shit, and I don't want to do it because then it would lead me to frustration, and then I would have to go and level walkthrough, and that kind of defeats the purpose of the first Legend of Zelda game in my eyes. It's not gonna happen. But I got what he was trying to do, and I thought that was a really neat idea. That was a really cool idea, and I kind of got to live through that with A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds. I really do enjoy that whole feeling of being, a true adventure and stuff. It was really cool. But on the other hand, what you get for that, you sacrifice, in my opinion, for plot, story development, and character development. Like, nothing is really important in the lore of the world. You don't really have a drive or a reason to finish the game. You just go around doing whatever the fuck you want to, because nothing really is important. But, like, for example, I was playing, was it 2 summers ago? It was 2 summers ago. I was playing Link Between Worlds. I picked it up. It was a really, really good game, and I enjoyed it. I will probably review it soon, but that's another time. And I was enjoying it so much, and I didn't want it to end, specifically because I was enjoying it so much. But then that got me thinking, like, it got me like thinking, because I was so lost in the world and exploring, but the game never really, it never really hit home. They're never really hammering it in my head all the time, like, hey, you have a job to do. You should probably be getting on that saving the whole world business. And I was like, nah, I didn't want to do it. Not just because I didn't want the game to end so fast, but because I never really felt a dire need to do it. I never felt a drive. I just kind of goofed off and did my own thing. And I feel that that's one of its cons. It doesn't have a proper driving force, and it doesn't, like, how do I want to go about this? It doesn't give you a reason to save the world. Like, you know you're supposed to do it, but you don't fucking do it because you feel like there's no reason to do it. Like, there's nothing that doesn't really affect you. It's just Link is just a dude minding his own business, and then Fate's like, fuck you, you gotta be a hero, and you're like, well, I don't want to be a hero. But then you got this cool sword and shield, and you're like, oh, I got tools now, let's have fun with these tools. And then the world's like, hey, you still gotta save me. And like, I don't want to fucking save you, fuck you. And that's to me, that's how all of those types of Legend of Zelda games work. And they can't really do anything about it, because I don't have to save the fucking world. Like, one of my friends, I was kind of like doing like a pseudo kind of race thing, because he had the game like months before me, and when I bought it, I started playing the fuck out of that game, and then I got to like the last dungeon, and he didn't even finish the game. He just like sat there and like started to like do the side quests and stuff, because he was like, it's the end of the game, I don't want to do this, and he just left and he didn't do it. So I was like, wait, you didn't beat the game? You didn't get all of this shit? And I just got the game like a week ago. No, I'm not doing that. But like But he was like, yeah, I don't give a shit, dude. So and then he just went, and then we just beat the game together, basically. It's just like that got me thinking, like, damn, like this game doesn't punish you for not beating the game. And I guess in a way that's a good thing, but in my eyes, that's kind of like a fallback. I mean, and that's kind of like where we go into the story-based ones. With the story-based ones, like Ocarina of Time and all that stuff, because they have sometimes not the best plots, but they have a story that you follow. It's basically, you're still adventuring, you're still going on an adventure, but it's not your adventure. It's kind of the adventure that has already been written out. You have it's like a fucking scripted thing, and just like the hero goes here next. It's like a dude is reading you a storybook, and you're the main character in that storybook. Yeah, and you go out on the adventure that is being read in the book, and that's basically how it works in those types of games, and that's okay. And that's okay. That's cool. I actually really like that. I actually prefer this type of Zelda game formula, in my opinion, because one, these types of tactical games tend to focus on combat, and I kind of like that. But that's just because, you know, my favorite genre of game is kind of beat 'em up and hack and slash kind of stuff, and that's just my opinion. But I like it because it really gives me a driving force. Like, hey, I know what I gotta do. I gotta save the world because this, and this, and they fucking won't shut up. But you still have like side quests that you can do. Like every time you need to take a break from the storyline, you can go ahead and take a break from the fucking storyline. You can do whatever the hell you want. They still allow you to do that, but they're gonna be straight up and honest with you. Like, okay, you can't do everything when you want to do it. This is the way you're going to do it. And they're gonna continuously tell you, yo, you have a job to do. Yo, you have a job to do. Yo, you're like, hey, listen. Hey, listen. Hey, like that bitch that everybody hates, and I hate her too. Like, she's there for a reason. Like, what are you doing? You have a job. Ganondorf is going to destroy the fucking world. You better get your ass in gear and fix this fucking Hyrule, bitch. That's basically what the game is telling you, and I respect you for doing that, because if it doesn't do that, then I'm never gonna fix the damn world. I'm never gonna fix Hyrule. And even when in the storyline games that don't have, you know, that one character or that one sidekick that's always like, hey, do this now. You know, even the plot gives you a good enough reason to want to do it. Like, Wind Waker. Your original reason for setting out on your quest is not because you knew that, oh, you were destined to be this hero. It was because your fucking sister got kidnapped by a damn bird because of a fucking pirate came out of the damn sky, and you're like, yo, you're responsible for this, help me get that sister back. And I didn't have a sister, but I kind of related to that, because yo, I wouldn't want anyone from my family just being taken from me. I would want to help them. If it was one of my friends or one of my family, I'd be like, no. If I had something to do about it, I'd fucking save them. And the same thing goes for Skyward Sword. So why I like Skyward Sword so much, like it was one of the only Zelda games that I actually cared about the fucking bitch that the game was named after. I actually cared about Zelda, and it gave you a reason to care about Zelda. This is the best Zelda game. This is the best Zelda in a Zelda game, in my opinion. And that Zelda was my driving force throughout the entire game. That is why I like these games so much. But then again, it doesn't give you the leniency to do whatever you want, and that's kind of the con there, because you can't do whatever you want whenever you want to, and that's kind of where people are like, oh, but then that's not fun, because I want to do this, but they just want me to do that. And I get where people I get where people come with that, because it is just opinions, but it just really got me thinking, because like now we have the new Legend of Zelda EU coming out in probably like 2016, because it got delayed and stuff, and I assume it's 2016, and it's already been confirmed like, hey, this is gonna be another overworld Zelda game. It's gonna be another overworld one. You can do whatever the hell you want. It really is a big open world, and I'm like, okay, cool, that's great, but I didn't want it to like lose. I wanted to still have. I was hoping that it would still have this huge gap. Like I was hoping for it to be the one of the game to like bridge the two splits in the fan base. But then I realized, and this is where Majora's Mask comes in. It can't be the first one. Even if it does do that, it's not going to be the first one, because Majora's Mask already did it. So this is where it comes full circle. I believe that the definitive Legend of Zelda game is actually Majora's Mask, and by definitive I don't mean best. I don't mean best, and I don't mean like favorite. It's definitely not my favorite. I actually haven't finished it yet. It's the one Zelda game that I've played that I haven't really finished yet. For some reason I can't get myself to do it. It's such a chore to do it. I have so much other things to do. I have such a big backlog, and that's one of them. So I'm probably just gonna wait till I get my hands on the 3DS version. But in my eyes, it really is a definitive one, because it's basically the best of both of these worlds. And where I'm coming from is this, basically. This is my point. It's when you talk to someone who has played Majora's Mask, they're not gonna tell you that it's great because of one side or the other side. Oh, it has this very dark theme, and it has a dark atmosphere. It's like the loom, the threat of death and doom is always pressuring over you. But at the same time, it's just a very calming and relaxing experience at the same time, because like all of how the game is built up, it's practically a game about side quests. It's practically a game about side quests, really. Like you technically do have to then we get to explore everything. Like, you have not truly experienced Majora's Mask if you don't go out and, I wouldn't say 100% complete the game, but at least go out and do some of the major side quests, because all of the regular NPCs that would just be regular NPCs in any other Legend of Zelda game, they have like fleshed out emotions and deep backgrounds and character arcs and stuff like that you will genuinely want to care for them. Everyone is like going through their own stress as the fucking moon is coming down, trying to tell you, yo, I'm here, I'm gonna fucking destroy this place because Skull Kid's a bitch. You know, like that's why I think it's a Zelda game, because it matches the two things. You get to explore and do whatever you want, but at the same time, the game's telling you there's a big fucking moon in the sky telling you, I'm going to kill you if you don't hurry up. So what are you gonna do? And while, yeah, you can always keep rewinding time over and over again as much as you want, Song of Time, and you go back in 3 days, but it's saying, the moon is still saying, yo, what are you gonna do about me? What are you gonna do about me? You're gonna do the next temple? Or are you gonna do another side quest? You're gonna get another item? You're gonna go on another mini adventure? That's why I believe that Majora's Mask is going to be Zelda game. And that's why I kinda want Legend of Zelda new ones coming out, to be kind of like that. Let there be something that tells you, let there be some kind of something that tells you, like something in the something in the story, something in the lore, or whatever. Yeah, in the story that's telling you, hey, this is your main objective, and this is why it's important to finish the game. This is why it's important to do this stuff. But at the same time, you can take your time. You can do whatever you want because it's still your adventure. It's still your own unique experience. Because everybody in Majora's Mask, whenever I talk to anybody, they all have given me a completely unique, their completely unique experience. All of them have completely unique experiences from what they've played for like the first time. Their first encounter with Majora's Mask, all of them is different. But and that's why I say it's still your adventure, but you gotta finish the fucking adventure, dude. There's something there that's telling you that. So yeah, and that's all I really wanted to talk about. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of this Definitive Zelda game? Are you guys still a fan of the Link to the Past, or are you guys a fan of the Ocarina of Time and the Skyward Sword and stuff? But, you know, just leave it in the comments if you want. That's just really what I want to talk about, because it was really interesting when I was watching. I just got this from fucking Super Beard Bros, man. And I was like, dang, shit's interesting, so I just thought I would share that with you. And here's hoping for Zelda U being that ultimate Zelda game that, you know, Wada's promising us. I won't like Wada, but, you know. I forgot to do this. I'm tired. But let's hear something for that Ultimate Zelda game in 2016. Maybe not 2015, but 2016, guys. Alright, this has been Darklink the Second, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Well, this piece is one of the most well-known in video game history. Mostly because Final Fantasy VII is overrated, but that's not important. It's similar to Meta Knight's Revenge, where it doesn't really describe Sephiroth himself, but more about what he can do. And that electric guitar says that he can cause massive amounts of pain and suffering, so yeah.